Well, yes, the United States is very biased towards Israel. Billions of pounds a year are going to fund Israel. And people around the world are saying, quite rightly, that there's only one thing which is going to actually bring Netanyahu into line. Let's make it clear. He is not playing by the rules, by any of the UN resolutions to do with Israel. The Israelis simply ignore them. Netanyahu says, well, we only listen to God. Well, that's not an argument that is going to go down very well with the UN and around the rest of the world. And also amongst many Jews. Many Jews actually see Netanyahu and the Likud party as anti-Jewish. In fact, here it's not just the Neturei Garter, who are a group of Orthodox Jews in London, who are saying that Zionism is totally anti-Judaism. There are many ordinary Jewish people, secular people, who say, well, Netanyahu doesn't speak for me. So there's a lot of chutzpah here, a lot of cheek by Netanyahu, saying that he's basically doing God's will, where actually what he's doing is he's setting the world and the Middle East on the course to World War III, if he's not careful. So, yeah, a lot of cheek from Netanyahu, and it's not surprising to me. He's not an ordinary Israeli. He's a member of the Israeli Special Forces. In fact, his Likud party, many of the people are former terrorists who were against the British when the British were in Palestine back in the 1940s. The United States, by the way, recognized the state of Israel a year before the British. That is in 1948. The British only recognized the Israeli state a year later. And the United States have always been, Washington government, absolutely at the forefront of what I call the 10th crusade. Back in medieval times, we had 9 crusades with these medieval knights waving their swords and their shields around, charging across to the Middle East, causing death and mayhem. Some saying that their representation of Christianity was actually the thing that gave Islam such a boost back in the Middle Ages, and so many more people joined Islam because they could see these so-called Christian crusaders. So in a way, what we're seeing now is a kind of remake, a rematch of those medieval crusades, and a most fundamentalist, dangerous fundamentalist cause in the world, I think, is the Zionist fundamentalist cause. And there are many people who believe in the state of Israel, but do not believe in the racist agenda, the anti-Palestinian agenda, the exclusive right to the land, kicking out the original inhabitants that Netanyahu has been promulgating.